Okay, so I just finished this episode, and yeah, there's quite a bit to go through. Not as much as some other episodes, so I'm not expecting this to be as long as some of my other video reviews. Obviously, we are missing quite a bit of context, but it does seem like episodes 10 and 11 are going to confirm that Marinette and Adrian are going to confess to each other, because we start the episode off with Ladybug and Cat Noir fighting Mr. Pigeon again. And they're basically talking to each other about the fact that they each now have a boyfriend slash girlfriend, which means that Adrian and Marinette actually are going to be considered boyfriend and girlfriend by the end of episode 11. And gosh, thanks for the spoilers, Gloob! But yeah, that's going to be a thing. Really excited for that. And they're basically just talking, I can't really tell you too much because it would risk my secret identity, but yeah, I've got a boyfriend, and I've got a girlfriend, and yeah, and we're really happy for each other. But then Marinette, Ladybug goes back to talk to Alia, and is like, as Ladybug, she was like, oh yeah, things are great between me and this boy, and I could talk to him about anything, blah blah blah. And then she goes to Alia and is like, yeah, that's a lie. So I actually can't talk to Adrian. No matter what happens, I still can't talk to him. So it's like, even though they are together officially, she still can't really talk to him. And she's trying to figure out why. And then Kagami tries to call her, because Kagami is trying to basically, be there for Marinette to be a good friend. She's still not used to friendship and everything, and she's not really used to Marinette. Even though she's started to figure out Marinette, there's still the whole insecurity of, am I really being a good friend? Can Marinette and have these same conversations that that she has with Alia? But Marinette is like, oh, well, I don't want to bother Kagami with this, so she ignores the call. And Alia is trying to tell her, your problem is that you're almost there, but you need to listen to your friends and let us help you. And Marinette's just insisting that, she needs to do this on her own. But then it turns out the other friends are doing everything they can to try and get them together. So like Mark and Nathaniel, Nathaniel's got this whole notepad that he's sketches for ideas that they've had to try and get Marinette to be more comfortable around Adrian, so she can finally tell him she loves him. And there's this piece that they're doing in the art room, and Marinette and Adrian are the models, so they're supposed to sit there as a couple and in front of this heart-shaped wreath and everything, and it's got this whole wedding scenario set up. It's like okay, yes, I get it. They're doing art. Okay, they're doing art, but also the imagery. They're 14. But yeah, I gotta get that out there. They're doing art and stuff. They're just modeling. It's fine. It's just for an art class assignment. But that obviously fails. She goes to take Adrian's hand and she gets all clumsy and backs away. Which Adrian is being totally cool with. He's like, this is Marinette. I know how she is. And then we get the next plan. So it's basically just a montage of the failed plans. They go to the ice rink next, and Philippe is now trying to get them to be able to, hold each other's hands and do everything together, actually ice skate as a couple, but Marinette messes that up again. So then they try doing yoga, and then Chloe, everybody's sitting except for Marinette, and Marinette's about to work up the courage to go and sit down, and she finally works up the courage to go and sit in front of Adrian, and then Chloe just sort of pushes her out of the way, like, I don't remember seeing a reserved seating here for a loser. It's like, oh, Chloe. But, that's Chloe. And then Lila comes along. Now, this was interesting. Lila comes along and pulls Chloe away, acting like she's Marinette's friend, like, yeah, but Marinette has the right to sit with Adrian if she wants to. And she pulls Chloe away and says, "And we have every right to ruin her life, but we need to be a bit more discreet about it." So basically, they confirm for the audience that they are friends and allies now, doing everything they can to take down Marinette. And Sabrina overhears this as well, because Chloe actually tells her, "You really are my best friend," which I feel so bad for Sabrina, because Chloe basically just disregarded Sabrina and called Lila her real best friend. It's like, oh, I feel bad for Sabrina. Hopefully this whole thing with Chloe and Lila teaming up will get Sabrina to the point where she decides to actually move on past being friends with Sabrina, or with Chloe, so that she can actually have some real friends and some actual healthy relationships. Hopefully, fingers crossed for her sake. And then we get Marinette, just being all clumsy again off screen. They don't show what she did, but it caused her yoga mat to go flying. And Nathaniel rips out that last sketch in his notebook, and that's it. He has no more plans. He's out. He's dry. He's tapped out. So then we get Marinette in her room, and she's just trying to work up the courage to say "I love you" to Adrian, but she can't even say it to a photo of him. She's got a photo of him on her mannequin, trying to say "I love you," and it's "I love you, I love you, I love you," but she can't get the word "you" out. And that's when she gets she gets a call from Kagami, and she obviously, she declines it again. Which these phone calls do come into play later, which is why I don't want to skip them. But she declines the call from Kagami again, and then she gets this idea, which is totally ridiculous, but it's also very Marinette. She goes to her computer and prints out a picture of a cow. And then when she gets to the "you" part in the sentence "I love you," she holds the picture up and says "I love Moo." Which, to be honest, I honestly think that Adrian would actually get a kick out of it if she said "I love Moo." Especially if she actually did hold up a picture of a cow. He would absolutely love that. We know how much he loves his puns. Like, he would absolutely love that. But, she actually decides to go along with this plan. Like, she's just gonna say "I love Moo." And then she's like, oh yeah, I almost forgot this one moment that she has where before she prints out the picture of the cow, she's trying to say "I love you," but she freezes on the word "you." She's like trying so hard to force out the word "you" that her face turns completely red, and her cheeks are all puffed up and everything. Like, she is trying so hard to get that word out. And they actually show time passing. Obviously, breathing doesn't work like that. There's no way that she was holding the word "you" for hours like that, long enough for the sun to set. But Tiki's just like, oh my goodness, we're gonna be here for all day, aren't we? And then Kagami calls again, which, Marinette hangs up on. Then she does the whole cow thing. But then we see Kagami, and she's on her way to a get-together at the Liberty, and she's, trying to get a hold of Marinette, and she's just frustrated because she can't get through to Marinette. Marinette keeps ignoring her calls, and we find out that she's actually been talking to Lila, and Lila gave her this list that if Marinette, I think we actually get that later, yeah, she gets Lila's given her this list, this checklist that if you're able to check all these things off with Marinette, then she doesn't actually consider you her friend. Which means that Lila and Chloe, or at least this is Lila's plan. Chloe's obviously just along for the ride because Lila's the mastermind here. Lila's plan seems to be to get all of Marinette's friends to turn on her. and right now she is working on Kagami, trying to get Kagami to forget Marinette as a friend. But we go to the Liberty, and we find out that Adrian, this is so adorable, he's written Marinette a love song, and oh my goodness, oh my goodness, this was a very pretty song. Obviously, I couldn't fully appreciate it because I don't speak this language, but it's like the music was so pretty, and the voice actor from this dub has a great singing voice, and I'm a little bit nervous about whether or not Bryce is going to be able to handle this song properly in the English dub, because we've heard him sing in the Christmas special. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really care for his singing voice in the Christmas special. Maybe it'll sound better here, because I did kind of think he sounded better during the final song where Cat Noir is basically luring Santa Claus into their trap. I did think he sounded better there when that was a slower song, so hopefully because this will be a slower song, it'll fit his voice better. But that initial song from that initial Cat Noir song for the Christmas special did not suit his voice. I'm sorry. I love Bryce. I love his work. I couldn't get past that song. So if he doesn't nail this song, I hope they dub him. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe they can get the actor that's doing the singing for Adrian in the movie to do this, because it's such a nice song. Oh my goodness, I hope people cover it. I want to hear some covers of this song. But Adrian tells everybody that he wrote this song for Marinette, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, we gotta do everything we can to make this the best performance possible. This is for Marinette and Adrian. And everybody's like scrambling, trying to figure out, what they can do, how best to make this performance really special. And because there's a lyric about a dolphin, Kim is just like, this part really stuck out with me. Kim, he's such a himbo. He's just like, anyone know where I can find a dolphin? I gotta find a dolphin. Like, every word out of his mouth, like every sentence out of his mouth is just him trying to find a dolphin. It's like, it's actually kind of cute, but at the same time, it's like, really, Kim? Just because there's a dolphin in the song doesn't mean you have to have an actual dolphin. This isn't like, you're not making a music video. This is just a performance on the boat for Marinette, for Adrian to sing this love song that he wrote for Marinette. But it was still kind of cute and funny. So then Kagami arrives, and Marinette arrives after they start about the love song, and they don't really say anything to Marinette, because obviously, they want it to be special. So Marinette arrives, and then... Oh no, Kagami arrives first, and then Marinette arrives, running super late. And Marinette freaks out when she realizes that Kagami is there, because she's embarrassed to talk to Kagami. She doesn't want to disappoint her. It's like, oh my gosh, Kagami just says what she wants to say, and I can't say this. She's gonna be so disappointed. That's kind of Marinette's mindset, is that she's worried about disappointing Kagami. But Kagami is concerned because Marinette doesn't see, because as far as she thinks that Marinette doesn't trust her and doesn't see her as a friend, and that's why she's not wanting to talk to her about this. Which Alia, tries to let Kagami know that that's not what it is, but she's also trying to be there for Marinette, so Alia's attention is more on Marinette, so she doesn't notice as much how Kagami is feeling. But Marinette is, just freaking out the entire time. And then we get the song. We get the song, and my gosh, again, oh my gosh, this song was beautiful. Like, oh my goodness, I love this song, and I hope we get some beautiful covers for this song. But yeah, then Marinette, like after he finishes his love song, the spotlight ends up on Marinette, and she's like trying really hard to say I love you, but she messes it up in true Marinette fashion, and the only part she's able to get out is the moo. It's like, I need to go do the moo. It's like, and then she runs off. It's like, yeah. But it's like, it's cringe, but it's also like, this is very in character for her. So it's like, yeah, can let it slide. So Alia goes and tries to talk to Marinette, and Marinette is, you know, still coming up with excuses to distance herself from Adrian. First she's like, oh, you know, it'd be just like with Luca. I'd be lying to him the whole time because I'm Ladybug. And Alia's trying to be like, no, that's not it. And then Marinette's like, oh, but you know, this whole thing could distract me from being Ladybug. In fact, I'm being distracted right now. I should go out and make sure that nobody's getting akumatized. And Alia tries to tell her, look, there's no mission right now. You just need to talk to Adrian. And Marinette's like, no, I need to go make sure Paris is safe. And so she transforms and leaves through the porthole. And I love Alia's line of how her only mission right now is to run away from Adrian. But then we get Kagami checking off another check mark on the list that Lila gave her. And basically it's like the last thing on the list to tell her that Marinette doesn't actually like her as a friend. And it's like, oh, you just feel so bad for her. Like, she's trying so hard and she's just so awkward. She's not used to this. She's not used to making friends. It's also new to her, and she thinks she's failing when it's like, technically Marinette's the one failing right now. It's like, you're doing everything, and it's not even Marinette's fault either, because like she's, you know, this isn't even, she's not doing it intentionally to hurt Kagami. She doesn't even realize that Kagami is feeling this way. Because if she knew, then she wouldn't. She'd reach out to her. In fact, we see later that she feels bad when she realizes how Kagami was feeling. But Kagami, like, she goes and tries to talk to Marinette, but because they were also talking about Ladybug and stuff, Alia, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's fine, and basically try to get Kagami out of there because, you know, the whole Ladybug thing is part of the equation. They need to talk about that, and they can't do that in front of Kagami. So Kagami sees this as, you know, the very last thing. You know, she has a language with her other friends that excludes her, is what she thinks. So Kagami leaves the party, and she calls Lila, and that's where we find out that Lila's the one that gave her this list. But like, and then she calls Lila, and Lila tells her, like, yeah, I'm sorry about that, but we can still be friends too. But Kagami is so upset right now because she thinks, she thinks that she's failed at being a friend, that because she failed with Marinette, she can't be friends with anybody, even Lila. So she tells Lila, no, I can't even be friends with you, I'm a horrible friend, and she hangs up on her, and she leaves the party in tears. And it's just, oh my goodness, you feel so bad for her. And Adrian actually sees her leaving. He sees her running away in tears, and he realizes that something's wrong, so he goes after her, and he finds the list, and realizes, oh my gosh, something must have happened to upset her. And I love how he immediately recognizes how nonsense that list is. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, oh, you know, if this stuff happens, then you're not they're not your real friend. He recognizes that it's absolute BS. But he goes after Kagami, and pretty much, but of course then Kagami gets akumatized, and of course Monarch takes advantage of her feeling of isolation. Like, she even tries to reject him. It's like, you're not here to help me, you're just here to help yourself. And he manages to convince her that he's literally just here to help her. Like, I don't think he even told her that he wanted the miraculous. I'm gonna go back and check that right now, because, like, because I don't think he even said that he wanted the miraculous. He just said that I want to help you. I understand you. I'm gonna look for that now. Yeah, he just says that he's gonna give her this powers. And yeah, he doesn't even say that he wants the miraculous. He just says, I'm going to give you these powers. Which, yeah, I did notice that before. I wasn't sure if I was remembering that correctly, so I wanted to double check. But yeah, he definitely did not say that he wanted the miraculous. He just said he wanted to help her. So, which, you know, she was going to reject him because he was only looking for a way to get the miraculous. But yeah, he's just like, oh no, that's not it. You know, I actually just want to help you. I don't care about the miraculous. I just want to help you. So she allows herself to get akumatized, and he gives her the power of the dragon, which was actually really interesting because, like, I forget the name that he gave her, because we don't really hear it other than during that one scene. But it had Ryoko in the name, or Ryuko, which is her superhero name. So naturally, you know, he gives her the dragon powers. It's like, that makes a lot of sense. You know, he uses her hero name in her villain name and then gives her the same powers of the miraculous that she's already well accustomed to. It's like, that's actually really clever because she knows what she's doing with that. So she basically becomes a giant walking cloud, which I was watching this with Fish. He doesn't really keep up that much with Miraculous, but I was watching this with him and he was all confused. But it's like, no, this actually fits really well with the powers of the dragon, because the powers of the dragon allow you to basically become any of those three elements: wind, water, or electricity, or thunder. And you become one of those three elements. So she's basically combining the power of air and water to turn into this cloud. And then when she gets angry, she adds the electricity into the mix so that she can become a thundercloud. So Adrian transforms to go and help Ladybug to deakumatize her, and he gives her the list, which is what makes Ladybug realize that this is kind of her fault. And she's like, and she, you know, at first she's about to say, this is all my, I mean, you know, this is all the fault of, you know, this person who is so careless. And then Cat Noir is like, no, it's this list that's at fault. This list is what's ridiculous. And it's like, yes, thank you. It's not Marinette's fault. It's the list. It's Lila's. It's the person who gave her the list. That's where the fault comes from, which sowed these seeds of doubt in her mind. And I'm glad he said that, because that allowed her to have that other perspective. So they try and deakumatize her, but they can't actually, like, she can't actually hear them, and she can only see them if they're causing her an annoyance. So they basically, you know, they do everything to try and get her attention, and they basically, sorry, cat's acting up, but nothing they do can really get her attention. They just make her mad, and then she blasts electricity at them and then runs off. It's like she's just trying to be in solitude. And then that's when when Monarch is like, I just want to let you be in peace, but Ladybug and Cat Noir, they won't let you be in peace. The only way to be free of their nuisance is to destroy them. So it's like, I'm thinking that might have actually been his plan all along, why he didn't ask for their miraculous, because he knew that they were going to come and try to stop her, and he gets to play the good guy of, I didn't ask you for anything. These guys are the bad guys. They're the ones that are trying to stop you. So Ladybug gets a lucky charm of those plastic iron beads. So she gets the idea to get a whole bunch of those and make cards for all of their friends to help them out with. And I don't know how they managed this with such a small number of people and so many cars just flipping over all at once. But basically, they set everything up in the stadium so that, they've got the cards on the one side that are like all white and everything, and then on the other side, they form a picture of Kagami with hearts and stuff, basically telling Kagami that all of her friends are there and they care about her. So Kagami is able to reject the Akuma, and she detransforms, and she's about to give Ladybug all the praise for it. And I love this part. Ladybug tells her the only person here who deserves praise is you. You rejected the Akuma all by yourself. And it's like, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like, Ladybug is not the only one who does stuff. Thank you for acknowledging that everything is not always up to her and that she's not the only one who's saving the day. So Kagami then realizes that, she doesn't just have Adrian and Marinette. She's got all of her other friends too. They are her friends. So she and Marinette finally get to talk, and Kagami tells Marinette that she was feeling like she's not good at friendship, and she just wanted to be a good friend to Marinette, but she failed. And then Marinette's like, no, you didn't fail. I failed. I just didn't want to bother you with my problems, but now I see that, I should be able to lean on my friends, and, you were just trying to be there for me. You were being a good friend. I was the one who was wrong. And it's like, I can already see TBC loving this. It's like, oh my gosh, Marinette admitted she was wrong. The show admitted that she was wrong. So they hug it out, and Marinette, the Alia comes along and is like, and next time Marinette doesn't want to talk to you, call me. And then Alia, through the alliance, sends Kagami her phone number. And then all of their other friends also send Kagami their phone numbers, and you just see her alliance contact list just filling up with all of her friends. And it's like, that is such a great contrast to earlier, where she deleted both Marinette and Alia out of her contacts. She deleted all of her friends. She didn't even have Adrian in her contacts. She just had her mother, Marinette, and Lila. So she deleted Marinette and Lila, but now she's got everybody's contacts in her phone. Not just Marinette, not just Lila, everybody. And it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I just realized I kind of glossed over the fact that we actually do get to learn a little bit more about Kagami. It was kind of hard to, like, you kind of have to infer a lot of stuff, but basically we get to learn a little bit more about her backstory, how she actually joined the Adrian's fencing class not because she wanted to prove she was the best like she told her mother, but because she wanted to be friends. And when she lost to Adrian, she felt like she was being rejected by everybody, and that's why she left, because she wanted to make friends there. But she felt that she failed, and that's why she left. And it's like, that puts so much new context on that old scene, and I absolutely love it. And we get to see, and we also get a flashback to when she and Marinette did the Friendship Day event, and she actually says that she was so scared and so nervous about messing things up with Marinette. But that Marinette was a good friend to her, and that she was able to actually make a friend that day. And she's just lamenting over everything that's happened. It's like, my goodness, my heart. Like, all three of us, me, Fish, and Dem, we were all just sort of tearing up. It's like, oh my goodness. Like, that was just so sad. And then we see at the end her realizing that she does have friends, that Marinette is her friend, and she's got all these other friends too. And she's got all these people in her life now. It's just so beautiful. And then she calls Lila up. She's feeling so good. She calls Lila up and says, yes, I will be friends with you as well. And then we get one other scene with Marinette and Alia. They're heading back to the bakery and saying goodnight. And well, it actually kind of looks. Actually, no. I think Marinette's actually just giving Alia a ride home because we just see them on the street. But Alia is on the back of Marinette's scooter. And they talk about how, like, Marinette actually admits that Alia was right. She always thought that it was her being Ladybug that was the problem, but really it was just that she was scared. She even mentioned this to Kagami too, that she's now realized that part of her fear is that she's feeling that she's not good enough for Adrien, and that's why she can't say what she wants to say. And she admits that to Kagami and also to Alia, and they talk about that, and it's like, oh, it wasn't Ladybug, but it was me. I don't know why, and I don't know how I'm going to overcome it, and then Alia's like, it's fine, we'll take this a step at a time, and we'll get there. And it's like, my goodness. This episode just feels like it's all about having a support group, and I love it. Like, it feels like they're trying to teach the lesson of, let yourself have a support group. Let yourself have friends. Your friends are there to help you, and you can't do everything on your own. It's like, that's such a great lesson to teach. And it was really powerful. I really liked this episode. It was definitely a lot more mundane, slice of life-ish, kind of like earlier seasons, but it still felt like a good episode. We got some really good development for Kagami. And then we get one final scene after the end card, and oh my gosh, I had to pause because I burst out laughing at this. So Tomoe is mad because, she saw that Gabriel akumatized her daughter, and so she kicks the door into Gabriel's office and slams her bamboo sword into the screen and actually hits Gabriel's wrist. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that has to hurt, because that is his Cataclysm hand. That is the hand that was that is injured from Cataclysm, and we know that Cataclysm damage is spreading right now. So like, that has to really hurt, because she hit him and the screen so hard that the screen is now broken. It is so cracked. It was just broken, and it's like that has to hurt. Like, I can imagine that hurting even without his hand being injured. Like, that has to hurt. And she just yells at him, "You sent a Mega Akuma into my daughter's ring, Gabriel. How dare you?" And then we get this one line that actually gives us a little bit of insight into Tomoe. And I'm thinking that this might actually be related to that little bit, that one tidbit that we got in Soul Crusher. She says, "If you don't honor our contract, I will make your dream disappear, just like how you made mine disappear." And I don't know what he did to make her dream disappear, but I'm thinking it has to do with the fact that we saw that script with her picture on it in Andre's little secret compartment, because we saw one for Emily as well there. And we also know from Lies that Kagami wants to be an artist. She loves art, she loves drawing, but Tomoe doesn't approve of it. She sees it as a waste of time. And I'm thinking that it's very possible that she used to dream about becoming an actress, and it's very possible that she wasn't always blind. My theory is that she wasn't always blind, but then something with Gabriel happened that caused her blindness and forced her to give up her dream of becoming an actress. And because she's so traumatized from that happening, she sees Kagami also pursuing this artistic interest, that she's just trying to nip that in the bud because she's afraid that Kagami will have dreams of artistic endeavors herself and will fail and have her heart broken just how she did. That's my theory anyways. That's what I'm getting from all of this. We'll have to see if I'm proven right or wrong. We'll see. But yeah, still though, like, I absolutely loved that one little bit where she just kicks the door in. It's like somebody once told me, like, oh my goodness, that is such a meme right there. And I hope I don't forget to edit that into this video. But yeah, so that's pretty much it we have for this episode. This is all the artwork that I have for now, but I do have more stuff in mind for more art for upcoming episodes. Next is episode 19. Dang it, Gloob! But apparently we've also got episode 15 coming out soon. So, why, Gloob? Why? Why do you hate us so much? Yeah, it looks like Protection is coming out on the 28th, which is episode 16. Oh, this is the Brazilian dub. Okay. And also, oh yeah, one other thing. I do want to point out one other thing that I noticed in this episode. Apparently the Brazilian dub changed Kagami's name to Kyoko. Like, I know that especially for those of us who grew up in the 90s on 90s anime, we're no strangers to names being changed in American adaptations. But usually, at least in American dubs, when a Japanese name is changed, it's changed to something a bit more English. But the Brazilian dub straight up changed her name to Kyoko, which is a Japanese name. And if anything, Kyoko is a bit harder to say correctly than Kagami. Kagami is a very easy name to say. Kyoko, you have to say it properly. Because, like, yes, you could read it Kyoko, but Kyoko is the proper pronunciation. They actually seem to be able to pronounce Kyoko correctly. So, why do they find Kagami as being such a hard name to say that they have to change it to Kyoko? Like, her last name, Tsurugi, is still the same. It's still Tsurugi. So why did they change her name? I don't get it. I know that I'm not Portuguese. I don't speak this language, but I just noticed that and it would not leave my head. Like, why did they change her name to Kyoko? It makes no sense. Anyways, I'm done. I'm gonna go watch episode 19 now and get my reactions recorded and then go work on some art. So thank you guys for watching as always. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos from me. We do all sorts of fun stuff on this channel, including playing video games, we do art, and also sometimes talk about cartoons and anime. So if you enjoy this stuff, then be sure to ring that bell icon to never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a very magical day. Cannot get that wave right!